Today was announced the winner of the hotly contested January 14th elections and garnering 58.6% of the votes against his closest rival and National Unity Platform flag bearer, that is Robert Chagulanyi, known as Bobby Wine, who got 34.8% of the voters cast. Now we'll be bringing you the footage of that later in our newscast. But 15 constituencies missed out on the just concluded local council elections, while Mwenge North County did not vote for the Member of Parliament. Now, according to the Electoral Commission, the affected constituencies and one district had irregularities in the particulars of their candidates. Take a look.
The Electoral Commission has set the 25th of this month for the people of Mwenge North County to vote for their Member of Parliament. On 14th January this month, voting for the Member of Parliament for Mwenge North County was cancelled following the mismatch of particulars for the candidates.
What we had on 14th, we had parliamentary and presidential elections. One constituency did not vote, and that is Mwenge North County, which is found in Chenjeje district. We have set a polling date for that district, or for that constituency, to have the elections for direct elected Member of Parliament on the 25th of January 2021. So, you know, out of all the constituencies, I think this is the only one where we had a challenge that could not permit polling to go on. The rest had their elections.
Also, in the just concluded local council elections, a total of 15 constituencies did not vote due to irregularities in the particulars of candidates.
Then we had local government councils elections. We had about 15 direct elected councillor positions where elections were not conducted across the country. We've also had of some other areas the returning officers are yet to submit complete reports. The process is on because today was going through the tallying of results. But the district that didn't vote for chairperson is Chankwanzi district, and we're going to give them a new date for the elections.
The Electoral Commission is working on setting dates to have the affected constituencies vote for their councillors. But what caused the inconsistencies on the polling materials to go undetected until the voting day?
Time around, we had a very tight security for our polling materials. The polling materials that were printed and sealed at the factory are left intact up to the polling station level, so we do not have time in between, and we are not permitted because of the security structure put in place to open and cross-check again. The proofreading is fine, and perhaps if somewhere along the chain a mistake went unnoticed, that's why we are seeing some of these areas which are scattered and isolated. Yeah.
However, the Electoral Commission has described the whole voting process as peaceful and successful, rating it at 99%. Adiana Kute, UBC.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has been faulted for continuous denial of budgetary allocation to the national broadcaster UBC. The chairperson ICT Committee of Parliament, Paul Amoru, expressed concern after what he describes as deliberate attempt to derail national guidance. Now, he was meeting agencies under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance in preparation for the National Budget Framework paper for financial year 2021-2022.
National broadcasters across nations are fully maintained and funded by governments, Uganda being no exception.
This is a time of election. You have just concluded. Now petitions are coming in tomorrow. What are we going to say? Here there was no budget for a national broadcaster. Here we are.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation is the only national broadcaster in the country and has over the years tried to educate, inform, entertain and mobilize the public. However, due to limited funding, the national broadcaster has not had a comfortable ride. Accusing fingers are pointed at Ministry of Finance.
But I want to put it on record that we didn't get any money apart from the supplementary that you managed to fight for, and they gave us 2 billion. And we're still struggling, and I hope that the committee can really interface with the powers that be, because how can Ministry of Finance arbitrarily just say we are giving us zero fund?
I'll be happy if you call the Minister of Finance here and myself here and we say, okay, a minute, can you produce a minute where we agreed from finance because I have, why didn't you move ahead to release these funds to the national broadcast? And you see what they will tell you.
These are some of the issues that came up as the Parliamentary Committee of Information and Communications Technology met sector players under that docket. The committee chairperson also recognizes this challenge, calling on the Ministry of Finance to consider funding to the national broadcaster.
You have support of the Speaker. I know you have support of the President. Probably I know this matter also is before Cabinet. But within, I don't want to skin this thing up to the tail right now. But at the level of ministerial policy statement, we may be forced. We want both the political heads and the technical people within the ministry to tell us if they are committed to supporting the growth of UBC.
In doing so, the role of national guidance will be upheld in overcoming societal challenges and promoting peaceful coexistence.
It's possible UBC can be very profitable, but that is not the push for now. UBC should come back to its feet, and I think even when it generates money, they are not going to be profit driven. Otherwise, it loses the essence of it being a national broadcaster.
The issue of increased costs of internet was also raised, with responsible agencies committing to finding remedies to the challenge. State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Peter Ogwang, seized the opportunity to explain the disabling of internet during the recent presidential and parliamentary elections.
We took a decision as a government to switch off internet for purposes of helping us manage our elections. And I want to commend the National Electoral Commission for carrying out one of the most peaceful, respectable elections of all times. Because why did this happen? We should also appreciate that as government, we are the consumers of the national intelligence. So when we take such a decision, it's on the national interest, it's on the national security.
The ICT Sector Committee meeting was just one of those taking place at Parliament to consider the National Budget Framework Paper for the financial year 2021-2022. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Now, NRM supporters in Rubaga Division and Mengo Chisenyi want the President-elect Laurine Museveni to resolve key issues affecting the vulnerable Ugandans at all levels. They claim that the majority of vulnerable Ugandans have been greatly affected by land grabbers, coupled with youth unemployment and corruption, among others. We have the detailed report.
The NRM chairperson of Kasato village, Mengo Chisenyi 2 parish, Central Kampala City, Sandy Musokenko-Yoyo, has appealed to the President-elect Museveni to appoint professionals and facilitate the office of the village Local Council 1 with motorcycles for easy mobility. According to Nkoyoyo, this will ease the transportation of local councils at the village level to disseminate government programs for development as well as bringing service closer to wananchi.
Omukulembeze w'eggwanga nsaba kino ebintu ebi abeerusi mu ggwanga balwolezeeko babeere ne bodaboda zaabwe ate otuyite buli disitulikiti otuyite ba LC tukubuulire ebizibu ebiddawa wansi bano abakulembeze abawaggulu tebatuukayo.
Nkoyoyo also proposed that the age of the elderly should be brought down from 80 to 60 years to enable many benefit from the elderly grant.
Tungi amatwalo malungi mukiruddu naye temuli ddaga neefuba nnyo okulaba nga abasawo mubateeka olondo minisita omusawo amanyi kintu kiyitibwa nti omuntu wa wansi yeetaaga saaviisi.
Sula Lubega, the chairperson of Border Cyclists in Rubaga Division, appealed to the president to address the land grabbing issue to top on his agenda once he sits in office.
Muzeyi byetujja okumusaba mu kisanja kino kyazzemu ekisinga okutuluma ttaka ebintu by'ettaka His Excellency ekyo vaayo bannayuganda ekyo ekisinga okubaluma ettaka bali babyeko nnyo ku luno vaayo olwanirire omuntu w'owansi.
In the just concluded presidential and the parliamentary polls, over 5 million Ugandans voted for Museveni as their next president with 58.86% margin.
Now, the NRM youths in Kampala painted Kampala city yellow as they converged to offer a heroic welcome to President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, since the 14th of January, when Uganda went to the polls to decide their next president and members of parliament, Museveni has been at his country home in Rajtura monitoring electoral events.
Today afternoon, it was skull and pomp at the heart of Kampala when National Resistance Movement adding to its supporters painted the entire city business district of Kampala City with yellow NRM party color ahead of the return of the party's national chairman and President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the just concluded presidential and parliamentary elections from his country home of Rajtura, where he has been pitch camping since the 14th of January. The painting of the city yellow had nothing to do with the prevailing political situation, but a gesture of welcoming the President-elect General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to the capital city Kampala. The jubilations confirmed their confidence now that they are sure their future is secured.
Wabula muzeeyi tumuyozaayoza okubanga yayiseemu kyetusuubira pulezidenti agenda kukola ebintu bingi nnyo lwa nsonga ze ng'abikola wabula agenda kutereeza ebyo ebibulamu by'atanaba kutuukiriza naye nga buli kimu ajja kuba akikola.
They expect a lot from this term and have asked fellow Ugandans to be peacemakers if they are to achieve a lot in the next 5 years.
Tusuubira nti mu kisanja kino eky'emyaka 5 tusuubira ebintu bingi nti agenda kutwongeramu amaanyi mu kusinziira okuba nti abavubuka tebalina mirimu gye bakola emirimu gye bakola. Badde basuubira nti tewajja kubeerawo mirembe, mulabya akabonero kukyanga okulonda kubaawo. N'olwekyo gino emyaka 5 egijja naddala nga pulezidenti amaze okuinitiatinga emyoga program naddala egyo egitambulidde wansi wa presidential initiative on wealth and job creation. Mwena mwetanira okubanga mukola sako.
Upon reaching at City Square in Kampala, where he was warmly welcomed, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni thanked Ugandans who trusted him with their votes. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC.
UBC News Tonight. Now moving on, the Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo has dismissed allegation from public for terming judiciary as a temple of injustice and not being independent in delivering its services to Ugandans. Winyidolo communicated at the swearing-in ceremony at the Judiciary Service Commission Committee, and the function was held at the Supreme Court's premises in Kololo today. Take a look.
The Judicial Service Commission Committee led by Justice Benjamin Isingoma Kabito has been sworn in at a function officiated by the Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo at the Supreme Court in Kororo. Members of the commission include Lady Justice Faith Monda as the Deputy Chairperson, Lady Justice Stella Rachi Amoko, Ruth Sebatendira member, Nora Matovu Winyi member, and Johnson Katerabeho member.
We should do this for the judiciary. Once you create a district, there must be a chief magistrate. And for all the constituencies in that district, there should be a grade 1 magistrate. Then people will access justice. Justice is like water. You cannot do without water, you cannot do without justice. So where they create a center 4, there must be a chief magistrate. Where they create a center 3, there must be a magistrate grade 1.
The Chief Justice says judiciary is set to handle cases that emerge out of the ongoing elections objectively.
As we are prepared, we are fully prepared to handle any petition, presidential, parliamentary, local government. We are ready, we are ready.
Benjamin Kabito promised to address the issue of corruption in the judiciary.
We propose to set up an anti-corruption committee to give focus and attention to these concerns and demands and work out a policy framework, platform and mechanism within the ambit of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2019-2020, 2023-2024.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, commended the appointment of the members of the commission, saying it is timely.
The judiciary can only be as good as the competence of its staff, which is your role. The task of recruiting judicial officers and other technical and support staff consequently becomes very critical in having efficient and effective judicial system.
The permanent secretary to the commission, Seka Jaronad, highlighted the cause of the delay of cases lodged to the commission.
We had a lapse of about 1.5 years when we didn't have a commission. So all of the cases that had been reported during that time, they became backlog. We only have one full-time member of the commission. All the rest are part-time members. Others are judicial officers, others are practicing lawyers. To have such people sit for a full day is almost impossible. So the cure, I think, is if we can have the members of the commission, when they become full-time members. When they are full-time members, they will be able to devote enough time to handle the matter.
The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera, the Attorney General William Byarhanga, the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary Pius Bigirimana were among the luminaries that witnessed the event. This newly sworn-in committee, which was appointed by His Excellency the President, General Kaguta Museveni, is to serve for a tenure of 4 years. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Now, the long-awaited electoral results for the local government councils in Kampala have finally been released, with incumbent Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago retaining his seat amidst a hotly contested race of 10 candidates. Now, the results were announced at Kololo Independence Ground.
The Lord Mayor race in Kampala was unique and hotly contested. The race had 10 candidates. Among them was incumbent Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago of the FDC and Nabila Sempala from the National Unity Platform, who were the main political rivals, while others were no major threat. Two musicians, Joseph Mayanja, aka Jose Chameleon, who contested as an independent, and Daniel Kaziwe, aka Ragadi, attracted media attention just for their musical career, but on the political scene had less impact. After long hours of sleepless nights at the Kololo Tallying Center, incumbent Lord Mayor Edias Lukwago was declared as winner of a hotly contested Lord Mayor race with a sliding victory margin of 194,593 votes, trouncing his close political rival in the race, Nabida Sempala Nagai, who managed to pull 60,082 votes.
There was a lot of smear campaign. There was a lot of attacks that were leveled against me. But the judges have pronounced themselves. The verdict is out that Lukwago is a clean man. Lukwago is the only credible person amongst the 11 candidates whom they can entrust the affairs of the city with. So that's the verdict they have made. Those are the results they have posted. And I implore my opponents in this race to embrace the verdict of the people wholeheartedly, to accept it, because it's a resounding victory. If it were a court decision, it's more or less like a unanimous decision. There was unanimity because I overwhelmingly won in almost all the constituencies, polling stations, yeah.
However, other candidates that trailed at the losing tail end of the race, Daniel Kaziwe scored 23,000 votes, putting him in the third position, while Joseph Mayanja managed to pull 12,212 votes. Despite of the wobbling trails of the losers in the race, incumbent Lord Mayor Edias Lukwago thanked voters from different political spectrum that voted for him in total disregard of his political affiliation, the FDC.
So we need to come together and fight for justice in this country. We must, as a matter of urgency, work out a mechanism of rescuing our brother from the captivity where he is, Honorable Bobby Wine, Honorable Chaguranyi.
Joseph Mayanja, aka Jose Chameleon, a participant in the race, though managed to come fourth in position, was quick at conceding defeat and congratulated incumbent Lord Mayor Edias Lukwago upon his victory via social media. In the other category of elective Lord Councillor race was Nashtende Mavis from Nope, who managed to pull 12,869 votes, then directly elected Councillor Francis Mabidizi, also from Nope, fetched 5,577 votes, and meanwhile also Katabu Moses made it with 10,227 votes.
What has made us to go through this wave is because the people have trust in us. When you look at the Lord Mayor and his reputation, he's incorruptible. So the people of Kampala know, and they look at such qualities, and they know that when it comes to this position, we shall not look at the way forward, but we shall vote for the people that we know that are going to represent us efficiently and effectively.
I believe our new elected colleagues from NUP love Kampala. I also believe our new elected friends from NUP love development, and if they love Kampala and they are there to serve the interests of Kampala people, I believe they should look at us as colleagues. They should look at us as fellow leaders who are here to make sure we probably deliver Kampala better than they will have found it. So I look forward to working with all of them, and for the new entrants, for some of us who have been there, we pledge to uplift them and maybe mentor them on how issues in KCC are run.
Meanwhile, the National Unity Platform fielded candidates at low administrative units, winning over 95% of village and parish leadership positions, sweeping the opposition with a landslide win. In Kawempe Division, Nyanjura Dorin, the FTC flag bearer, emerged the winner of the election for LC Woman Councillor Makerere University. Sharon Chomjisha, UBC News.
Now, away from Kampala, the district returning officer of Iganga has declared Ezra Gabula as the newly elected LC5 chairman of Iganga district. Ezra was the NRM flag bearer in the just concluded local government council elections. In this report, Masi Ataho declared Gabula with 25,200 259 votes, beating his opponent, the NRM-leaning independent candidate Sinani Waguma, who got 20,639 votes.
Ezra Gabula was declared winner for Iganga LC 5 chairperson seat after winning other 11 candidates in the race. Gabula was declared winner of the polls by the district returning officer Iganga, Masi Ataho, in the wee hours of Thursday morning amidst cheers and ululations from supporters who had braved the heavy rain downpour outside the tallying centre to get the final results.
As the returning officer, Iganga Electoral District, I declare Gabula Ezra, who has obtained the largest number of votes, winner for chairperson Electoral District Iganga 2021.
While speaking to the media shortly, Gabula thanked the people of Iganga for the tremendous support given to him to serve the district for the
I want to thank the entire team of Electoral Commission, the entire team of presiding officers and the polling assistants. And I want to thank everybody who made it for me to succeed, because it has not been easy. Other people, we are thinking of other ways, that this man wouldn't make it. But before I can proceed, I must sincerely thank the NRM government because of equal opportunity. Whom am I short as I am, a little person of Uganda, to make it to this level of becoming a district chairperson. I want to promise that I will work closely with everybody. And on that note, there has been some intimidation of civil servants that this governor, when he comes, he will reject civil servants. But I want to assure you that there is what they call stability of the new personnel. There is no way you can reject somebody. Whom are you to come and disorganize the system?
He attributes his victory to experience in leadership.
And the reason why I've gone through it is because I've been industrious during council, making private members' motion, and I want to tell you that I'm the only councillor of that time who has a motion with 3 schools among the 27 schools in the whole of Uganda. They are pending for government aiding, and those schools require neutral budgeting. So I don't want to go into so many things, but I'm really grateful, and I want to kneel before you.
While in Bujiri, Kasaija polled 26,144 votes against his closest rival, Marcelino Agesa of FDC, who polled 24,617 votes, while incumbent LC5 chairman Haji Marijani Azara got 17,081 votes.
Ndine isano eryetagado olwa Bujiri okuvaayo yampa omukisa nsobole okuba omukulembeze waayo etambuzeeku ng'omukulembeze waayo owokusatu kyanga etondebwawo erina lya disitulikiti mu mwaka gwa 1997 nga ndawulamu kino kiseera kya kugayita
to support pedestrians and light motorists. But because of this business of cane, we are supposed to upgrade, and that is done by government on recommendation and application of the person in the leadership of the district.
Luka NRM flag bearer Simon Wakaze won the Luka LC5 polls with 15,324 votes, while Peter Kafuko, independent, got 14,482 votes. Buyende former LC5 chairman Charles Kanakulia NRM bounced back after winning the LC5 polls with 34,300 26 votes against Charles Lango, independent, who got 23,764 votes. In Kalido, Duksoka Elijah Kagoda, an NRM candidate, won the Kalido district polls by 32,728 votes, and the incumbent Wycliffe Ibanda, who came on an independent ticket, got 24,288 votes. Namutumba Mokisa David, an NRM candidate, won Namutumba district polls with 7,453 votes, while Mike Saile, an independent candidate, followed with 16,324 votes. In Jinja, Moses Batwala, an NRM, won unopposed. By press time, Mayuge and Namaingo districts, the winners had not yet been announced.
Now back to our very first story of the night. President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has made a grand homecoming from his country home in Rachtura, Chiruhura to Kampala for the first time since the 2021 presidential polls. Now, as we hear in this report, Museveni made several stopovers at the various designated towns between Lyantonde and Kampala along the Kampala-Mbarara highway.
President Yoweri Museveni has had a triumphant entry in the capital, Kampala, for the first time since the 2021 presidential polls. Earlier from Rachtura, President-elect Museveni made several stopovers along the Kampala-Mbarara highway to greet his supporters who were seen standing by the roadside. Lyantonde was among the first to receive his appreciation for securing their future with the NRM. He cautioned them against COVID-19. Similar short stopovers were witnessed in Chazanga, Lukaya, Kayabwe and Impiji, where NRM supporters led in welcoming their successful candidate in the just concluded presidential elections. Celebrations and excitement grew bigger as General Museveni made his way into Kampala city via Busega in Rubaga division. From here, crowds of excited supporters who had been waiting for him escorted his convoy all through to the Constitutional Square in the middle of the city, where thousands of other supporters had gathered to welcome him on his way to State House Nakasero. This was his last stopover after a nearly 5 hours drive from western Uganda. The self-drive and grand entry into Kampala is peddled at applauding his supporters for unanimously voting for him against other presidential candidates who were in the race. Museveni was last week re-elected for a 6th term with 58.6% of the vote, as his closest opponent, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, also known as Bobi Wine, garnered 34.8% of the vote. Museveni was on Saturday the 16th of January 2021 announced by the chairman of the Electoral Commission of Uganda, Justice Simon Byabakama. He will on May 12th be sworn in for a new term in office.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Shopping needs, come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: Ntinda Station Road, opposite Makerere Business School along Port Bell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
I want to appeal to Ugandans that as we go through these elections, peace must prevail. Let's ensure that we go to the elections, but keep peace, preserve peace, and it's good for all of us.
This message is brought to you by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy in partnership with Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue. iPod, putting Uganda first.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still watching UBC News tonight. I'm Laurine Masika Kazimoto, and of course in the sign language we do have Elizabeth Nakakoni. Now in more news, Matia Luanga Bwanika of the National Unity Platform has regained the Wakiso District LC5 chairperson seat. After a long wait, the district returning officer Tolbert Musinguzi declared Bwanika winner with 195,306 votes. His NRM counterpart, Moses Mayanja, polled second with 52,808 votes, followed by DP's Simon Subuga with 8,675 votes, then followed by FDC's Siriazi Moses in fourth place, and Kawesi Ahmed of Jema Party trailed.
At Wakiso District Headquarters, results for the local council elections continue to trickle in from Wednesday till Thursday. All eyes were on the district returning officer, Musinguzi Tolbert, and his 20-plus team who kept on their duty posts serve for the tea breaks. Wakiso is one of the districts with the highest number of registered voters and polling stations. These are not only many, but also remote. Therefore, a huge task for the Electoral Commission officials. 2 a.m., no winner declared as earlier promised. Next to the EC results projection screen is Matia Luanga Bwanika, incumbent LC5 chairperson, armed with his DR forms comparing results. His main opponent, NRM's Moses Mayanja, could not be seen in the morning. 6 a.m., the wait had become unbearable for many supporters who pitched camp at the headquarters. 6 p.m., returning officer Musinguzi Tolbert declares winner for the LC5 chairperson, Wakiso District.
I declare Bwanika Matthias Wanga, who has obtained the largest number of votes, winner for Wakiso District.
Speaking to journalists shortly after, Matia Luanga Bwanika described his re-election as a progression statement by the people of Wakiso.
That has been a very big statement by the voters. And it has put me in a quagmire. It has put me in a situation that I've got now a bigger challenge than what I've been facing. I've stood steadily on the cause of the people. And I'm sure it's the reason they have pronounced themselves this time round. That's why I've said I was doing a few things, a few pro-people issues, without knowing that people were appreciating.
NRM's Moses Mayanja, who polled 52,808 votes, conceded defeat and urged the opposition to embrace government development programs.
I hereby admit that Matia Luanga Bwanika is now the chairman of Wakiso District. But what I promised the Wakiso people, I will work hard to see that we keep a relationship between the opposition and the NRM. And I want to challenge the opposition people that this time you work with the government, because opposing the government denies services to your supporters. NRM works for everyone. If you do services, if you do infrastructure, we will access the market, we access services using the same infrastructure.
Rodangonzi for UBC News.
Now away from Wakiso, Lango sub-region incumbent local government chairpersons have been voted out. New entrant bosses, most of whom former district councillors, have taken over from their bosses. Although Lango voted overwhelmingly for President Museveni, only 2 NRM candidates emerged victorious as district chairperson out of the 10 positions within the Lango sub-region. Eddie Olwa reports.
I declare Ofunsa, who has obtained the largest number of votes, winner for the district chairperson.
Lango sub-region joined the rest of the country on 20th January to decide for their local government leaders. The process was peaceful in all the 9 districts, including Lira City. Although all incumbents in the districts participated in the race, the results did not favor them. Frederick Odon of Doholo district lost to his former councillor James Oto, as well as Simon Peter Ngom of Amolatar, who lost to his vice Geoffrey Chen, and in Lira district UPC's Alex Orema Lot lost his seats to NRM's Richard Ukelom. Meanwhile, in Lira City, UPC's Mike Ogwang also lost to Sam Atul, an independent candidate.
One clear message that the journey for taking this city to the next level, together with everyone who lives in this city, starts today.
Political analyst Francis Ogema notes that there was a shift in the voting pattern in Lango sub-region when it came to local council elections.
Basing on the current trend of events of politics in Lango, where all the old-timers have been brought out, I think it attributes to only 2 things. One, their reluctancy. They were over-dependent on the party structures. Everybody thinks, yes, I'm for NRM, for UPC, so UPC will canvass. So even if they do nothing, they trade on the trademark of the political party. Because some other areas were strongholds, like if you check in Oyam district where an incumbent of UPC lost. But when you check most, there was only one NRM MP was there, that is Honorable Kelemala Machidogo, and the rest were UPC. Mioga has nothing. Compensation of the cattle, the president was live on TV saying he has secured 50 billion for Lango, Chula and Teso. Now, where is it? Where is the 50 billion now? They commissioned the road 1 month before the elections. Not even a single grader. In fact, the road is worsening day in, day out. So it's just a payback, tit for tat. You gave us this, which was not correct, then we pay you by giving you also something not to your satisfaction. That's why most of the NRMs lost. They lost. The incumbents, if in Lango here, close to 8 lost.
UBC News tonight. Now, the NRM party has built more strength and visibility in Gulu City and the surrounding districts, which were formerly stronghold bases for the opposition, after reclaiming the territory with a majority sliding victory vote in Wednesday's local government council elections. Alfred Okwonga, an NRM supporter but contested under the independent ticket, was the winner of the Gulu City mayor seat after getting 16,160 votes, beating FDC's Achire Christopher, who got 7,755.
After waiting for 12 hours for the vote results, the Electoral Commission returning officer Benson Obete announced Okwonga Alfred as the first ever Gulu City mayor. Obete defeated 6 other candidates, Achire Christopher of FDC with 7,755 votes, Mugabe Robert of ANT with 105 votes, Aligech George Lapille, an independent, with 754, Nyeko Wilfred, independent, got 78, Abuka Zero, an independent, with 898, and Oyo Rocky Menya of DP, who got 295 votes. The victory meant that Benson Obete, an independent of NRM leaning, is one of those politicians lifting the ruling NRM party flag high in Gulu.
Abuka 0-0. Pierre Christopher 8. Aligech George 2. Mugabe Robert 0. Yemo Wilfred 0.
Another NRM candidate, Achan Susan, won the Laro Peche South female city councillor after defeating 5 political rivals in the race with a margin vote of 3,290, while her followers Akelo Pasca of the FDC got 1,446. DP's Oyela Harriet Villa got 1,128, while independent candidates Amonyi Evelyn and Akonyo Evelyn got 662 and 186 respectively.
challenged. I feel given a different role than the role I used to execute. In my previous role, I was a citizen, I'm just a taxpayer. But in this new role, I have to bargain for those who cannot bargain, for those who have tried to bargain. And having that in mind, this is a new challenge for me to assume a new role in the House, to press government to know that Northern Uganda is still in need.
In Badege, Laibi South, female seat, Alima Joyce of the NRM won with 1,595 votes, beating her rival Lacote Susan of the FDC, who got 1,074. And Komakech Richard, NRM party member, beat off 13 other candidates to win the Badeg Laibi North Male City Councillor with 2,227 votes. However, in a twist of political events, the FDC also won the Luweero Peche North Male City Councillor with Andrew Ogweta Otto getting 2,835 to beat off NRM's Opio Walter Magamaga, who got 2,048, and another FDC candidate, Dalama Florence, emerged victorious with 2,653 to claim Luweero Peche North female councillor ahead of Nyaga Jeneth, who got 1,831 votes. Former Gulu Municipal Deputy Speaker Odong Morris, FDC, won the Luweero Peche South male councillor with 1,744 votes ahead of the journalist and independent candidate Kana Brian, who got 1,375, while an independent candidate Onenkan David got 1,718 votes, beating off the competition from FDC's Olanya Sande, who got 971.
Woman City Councillor 5 for Luweero Peche North. Winning this election as the Councillor 5, for me, especially as an FDC candidate, means a lot to me, because basing on our foundation as FDC, we stand on truth, we stand on transparency, and we are looking at true service delivery to the grassroots population. That is how much it means to me, because it means we will be able to be the people's voice.
In Gulu District, NRM's Opio Christopher Ateka got 6,662 votes over Obol Justin Simpleman DPs, who got 3,992, and FDC's Okwanga John, who got 2,385. While in the neighboring Amuru district, the incumbent Lacogne Michael of the FDC got 13,663 votes and has retained his position against NRM's Atwom Dennis, who got 11,191 votes. In Omoro, Peter Douglas Okelo Okao of NRM retained his seat of the LC5 after getting 12,244 votes to beat off competition from FDC's Francis Watdok Awori, who got 6,991. And in Nwaya District, Emmanuel Orachi of the NRM won the LC5 seat after polling 6,030 votes, defeating Komakech Innocent of the FDC, who got 5,387 votes.
Now away from northern Uganda and into western Uganda's region of Fort Portal City and Kabarole district, where NRM candidates win big in the local government elections. Now the National Resistance Movement candidate Asaba Edson Ruyonga beat all the four candidates for the Fort Portal City mayor seat with 15,312 votes. The incumbent Reverend Chintu Willie Muhanga, however, contests the results on grounds of poor ballot papers. Take a look.
Has been won by an NRM candidate, Ruyonga Edson, against the incumbent interim mayor, Reverend Chintu Willie Muhanga.
I declare Asaba Edson Ruyonga, who has obtained the largest number of votes, winner for Fort Portal City.
The elected mayor says he is to focus on fighting corruption and infrastructure development in the first 100 days in office.
The moment a leader fights off corruption, then the little money that the taxpayer pays can be effective in giving service delivery.
Reverend Chintuwili Muhanga, who scored 9,699 votes, is, however, not satisfied with the results, attributing his loss to poor print of the ballot papers.
It's a disappointment to us because we are identified of what we put on. I'm a reverend, I put on my collar. And when I was actually being nominated, I was nominated as Reverend Chintuwili Muhanga. I was putting on my collar. But on the ballot paper, the collar is nowhere to be seen. You're only seeing the head. So to me, that one is actually a bat on me with the Electoral Commission.
He says this confused his supporters, especially the elderly, who would have voted for him, and has threatened to sue the Electoral Commission for the anomaly.
I'm going to put the Electoral Commission into the courts of laws to explain to us what happened and why did they actually do that to me. I'm more than ready to go to court.
Kabalole District LC5 seat was also taken by the incumbent chairperson Richard Rabuhinga against his independent rival and retired head teacher Mwesige John.
Now, Abel Bizimana Chisoro, incumbent LC5 chairman, NRM flag bearer, has been declared winner of Chisoro District LC5 chairman seat. He got 55,567 votes out of the total votes cast of 737,834. He and other winners in Chisoro local government elections were declared by Daniel Nayebade. We have the report.
Chisoro District Returning Officer Daniel Nayebare has declared Abel Bizimana winner of the LC5 chairman race. Bizimana, who was contesting against 3 independent candidates, garnered 55,567 votes out of the total 73,834. Milton Bazanya scored 13,234. Christopher Ruzaza got 2,436, and Naboth Tumowine managed 1,597. Elections took place in 18 sub-counties, including town councils. Daniel Nayebare declared all LC5 councillors who won.
In accordance with the Local Government Act, Cap 243 as amended, declare that the total number of valid votes cast for each candidate are as follows. Kazimiri Wilson, NRM, 3,019. Savimana Hirare, independent. Kazimiri is NRM. Then Savimana Hirare, independent, 293. Total number of valid votes cast for candidates, 3,312.
Wilson Kazimire of NRM party is new representative for Chahi sub-county. He promised to extend services to the community.
Izamo bwese jabakora karunka sinjire ne na 90% kandi kitumire banga bizamo bwese je nabwo kubakore aho kuba byinji tukabikaho ngo kombe kamatanka kombe kabihoroni kandi ndengutu aho kuba ekikuri twe nka kanso no kureba budget yija ingiringanaki bakora budget owawe gombora ryawe ryatwara biringanaki so wamara kumanya ibyo gombora ryawe byatwara then obwo mutemu no shuboga rukagomborora okora tirezo sente kureba icyo zashemere kora kiri kukikora.
John Mufitumukiza, a journalist at Chisoro FM radio, represented Nyarusiza sub-county and said that he will fight for the freedom of journalists.
Namaze gushimira abantu ba Nyarusiza baje kumbakaro kandi icya kabiri duweze kongera n'urushimo abantu bose kuba baje bari gutora neza ndetse no kudutora President Luweero Museveni. Gihe cyashize nangwa se mukaruka NRM hari byinshi byagiye birangwa, hari n'ibyo byo twaje kunyuramo, ariko twiringa abantu bari kwitsimba byaje kudufasha. Dari gitangaza kuba byabaye ahubwo abantu boye batoranyije batoranyije kandi ubwo nje nga John kandi nk'umunyamakuru gukikirwa mu Nyarusiza cyo cyambere.
Now, Kasese district has finally been reclaimed by the ruling NRM party after the NRM flag bearer, Erifans Muhindo Bukombi, emerged the winner of the LC5 chairman Kasese district, defeating FDC's incumbent Geoffrey Bigogo Sibendide in the Wednesday local government council elections. NRM flag bearer Bukombi Muhindo fetched 91,064 votes against incumbent Bigogo Sibendide of FDC with 86,408.
During the 2016 polls, Kasese district was painted blue, with all the 6 members of parliament, including the district LC5 chairperson, being FDC. This time, it is only the mayor who survived the FDC axe. Kasese has started to turn yellow again, this after witnessing the presidential win, sharing of parliamentary positions and now LC5 seats. The incumbent chairperson LC5, Bigogo Geoffrey, who has now been elected out of office, says despite a change in leadership in Kasese district, he believes the FDC still remains strong as a party.
Keeps me strong in this election, and I can confirm to you that although I don't believe that these were the results in this election, even from what the registrar has announced, I am not going to challenge them. I believe I have served the people of Kasese with dignity, and I go back home with dignity. That is what keeps me strong. One advice I would give to my brothers, especially in the NRM who have gone into this council, is that the people of Kasese, the people of Rwenzori will watch you.
Bigogo also says the results being announced in the district are contrary to what the people of Kasese know. Despite claiming that the election results were unfair, Bigogo says he will not be challenging them in court, but will rather wait for the end of 5 years.
Stronger than it was by these results. I can bet that in 5 years we will see FDC is left stronger. Because I believe the people of Kasese are not responsible for these results. That's what I believe. These are not results of the people of Kasese. They are not our results. The people of Kasese have different results down there. And that is the challenge I have set forward for the leaders who are going into leadership. Because I know that there will be a sharp contrast between what the people of Kasese believe in and what these people are going to do.
The Kasese district chairperson LC5 elect Muhindi Erifaz Bukombi, upon declaration, has pledged to work for the people of Kasese, especially by ensuring peace prevails in the district.
There is security, because if security is not there, you would see problems. Like if we did not have security during this voting process, many people would have lost their lives. But I want to thank the security personnel. They have ably done their work, and people are protected, and we are safe. And I want us to maintain that peace and security so that we can be able to register development in the district.
Kasese district returning officer Atwijukire Ismail Takir said election was free and fair.
He has been represented both at the polling station level and in the tally center, and the exercise was transparent. We involved them in the tallying exercise. Even after tallying, we gave them the results per polling station to verify before we printed the final, and they never objected that what they had on declaration of results was the same that we entered.
Some of the National Resistance Movement supporters in Kasese district said they are very happy after recovering some of the positions in Kasese.
Normalcy has returned to Luweero district after a week of the elections. Now, this has been disclosed during the handover of office by the acting resident district commissioner at the Luweero district headquarters. We have the details.
The people of Luweero handle them nicely because they have been there for me, and you are welcome to Luweero.
After almost 2.5 years in acting capacity as Luweero Resident District Commissioner, Miriam Gaiga Mugisha has handed over office to Rose Birungi.
DC Luweero and all the tools to Commissioner Rose Birungi.
Kaiga is proud of her 2 years in acting role, during which mobilization of women groups for financial stability is one of many achievements.
I have trained some groups how you can be able you can maintain your families, especially in income generating activities. I have visited so many communities in Luweero. I have visited so many youth.
Despite arriving at a time when COVID-19 still quakes havoc and the country from a fresh election, new Luweero RDC Rose Birungi promises teamwork.
Just come to work with the people of Luweero and add a break on the development of this district.
The handover ceremony has been attended by all Luweero district technical and security heads. Irene Faith Nantongo reporting.
Well, that is all the time we had for tonight and UBC News Tonight. We've surely enjoyed your company. But of course, a quick reminder is that the war against COVID-19 is not yet over, and it's up to us to keep safe, wear our mask, keep a social distance, and of course wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, and then we will emerge victorious. I wish you a good night. I'm Laurine Masika Kazimoto, and on the sign language, Elizabeth Nakakoni. Good night.
Polling day. Here are the requirements to vote. Present yourself to the polling station where you are registered as a voter. Present your voter identification documents. This could be your national identity card or your voter location slip. If you do not have any of the above, you can still be assisted by the presiding officer to check and confirm your particulars on the National Voters Register. The presiding officer will authenticate your identity